What's up, everybody?
My name is Anthony Irvin.
You beat yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah, CB myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Jim Green. Don't even need to hit a fucking traffic light.
Okay, good.
Welcome to
One set. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Welcome back to the One Set Podcast. I'm Jim Green, along with my co-host, my best friend, Anthony Irvin. Anthony, what's up, brother?
What up? What's going on? Another week here at the One Set Podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Another Monday night with my dude. Even though we are not even close to the weekend, but just bringing this to the fact that I've been hearing that we are going to be getting some warm weather this weekend, I am in a great mood on that aspect.
Dude.
Cannot wait. It's supposed to be like in the high 60s, probably even hitting 70.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Someone at school told me like Thursday of last week, they're like, not this Monday, but the next Monday, it's supposed to be 70 degrees. And I was like, whoa, what? And then I had to look for myself because, we're old men here. And
we were talking about it in our activities meeting at work, and they brought it up, and I'm looking at my phone at the weather. I'm like, oh, next weekend's like 69, 68, and then it was creeping up. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be awesome. And then just seeing the fact that I was thinking about it over the weekend, and like this is usually that time where we get that 1 or 2 days of like the spring weather, then it goes right back down into a cold spree. Then we'll start creeping back up to the spring weather. It's like spring gives us a little bit of hope, and then winter just gives us one more punch in the gut.
Rips out the rug right from under us again, right? Yeah, I forget what it's like. There's a whole name for like that little hint of spring. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, there's always some type of...
Our dads will know.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of the
names. But you're 100% right. We're
I'm
gonna
sure
get that.
there's a name of it.
Yep. Just gotta say, dig in the comfy setup today.
Dude, yeah, I was gonna bring that up. The fact that I've been eyeing up this chair the last 2 weeks, and I'm like, I gotta get somewhere to. I definitely gotta get in this little spot, and not only this week because I'm starting to put my setup together to start practicing for my show this coming month. So I'm like, this is the perfect time to just sit back in my chair, and this is my mom's chair, so it holds a lot of value.
There you go.
And I always see you every week in the couch, and like I'm sitting in this desk chair every week, and like I got to get a little bit of comfort. So I'm like, that's probably gonna be my spot for the next couple of weeks while I'm practicing. So I'm got a little spot carved out.
I told you, like, because our Christmas tree went where I usually set the desk, set the pod corner up, and we took the tree out, and I was like, I'm exhausted, and I'm running with the couch, and it's been like that every week, and I'm not mad about it. I'm like, and so coming on and seeing you in the chair, I'm like, there it is. All right. Just settle in here for a hot minute. All right.
I was thinking just even like having this all set up. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be pretty impressed with this little setup here.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
So, dude, we got some stuff to talk about. I gotta say, go ahead.
I didn't have much to say. Just it'd been kind of going off what you said. It was a pretty, decent pay-per-view this weekend. I didn't start watching it until later because I saw, Get the Let Out, which awesome show. I won't go into long conversation with it, but I'm not like a diehard Led Zeppelin fan. I know the certain, hit songs that they have and everything. And there were even songs that they played. I'm like, oh, I totally forgot Zeppelin wrote that song. And these guys were great. If you guys never heard of this band, They tour around the country, but some of the guys that are in the band are from the local area. They're called Get the Let Out, and uh, you know, unlike other tribute bands, and like I don't really listen to too many tribute bands or really go to watch them, but this was a pretty particularly interesting. Like they didn't all dress and try to be like Led Zeppelin, but their music and like actually going like from the record, it was amazing. Like they had like Zeppelin's was a 4-piece band, but they had about like 5 or 6 or 7 people in the band, and they were able to all be able to have you know extra harmonies and extra guitar parts that you see on those old records that a 4-piece band would never be able to replicate, but they were able to do that with the extra 2 guitar players in there, or some of the guitar players were able to harmonize with the singer, and the singer itself there's nobody like Robert Plant, but he did really well to hit those notes and the mannerisms of what Robert Plant used to sing like. So I definitely would see them again if they came around, or even just recommend if anybody is a Led Zeppelin fan, definitely got to check them out if they ever come around your area.
Nice.
But yeah,
did they do A Whole Lot of Love?
They ended the night with that, and their last 2 songs were "Stairway to Heaven" and "Whole Lot of Love."
Okay, nice.
So that when they kind of did like an encore thing, so they played the last 3 songs. I forgot the song that they played before "Stairway," but then they ended that song. Lights go down, like the smoke starts, and then the guitar plays, and I'm like, "Stairway." I'm like, yes.
So good.
Yeah,
I did. Back in high school, we had a jazz teacher for a couple years, and she had like a very rocker edge to her.
Mm-hmm.
So we did this Zeppelin track that I wasn't familiar with Led Zeppelin at the time, but like we did Whole Lot of Love for our recital routine, and then we wound up doing it for competition the next season. So I'm sure on here I've talked about it way back when we were first starting. Like there were a few of those routines my high school years where it's like they were a huge hit in the recital, and like the consensus was, oh, this would actually be really good at competition. So that was
nice.
So I got to do that for the spring into the recital, and then a whole other year of Whole Lot of Love for Zeppelin. So anytime I hear that song, it always takes me back.
Yeah, it's such a good song.
But
they opened up with the immigrant song that goes dun 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 dun.
Yeah, I feel like that's
so
a great opener, dude.
Yeah, I mean, they just were up and running. They all came out and just so good. Yeah.
So
we heard about a Pink Floyd tribute band, and then I know there's a Beatles tribute band called Fab Four. So now that after seeing like Get the Let Out, I'm like, all right, I got to see this Fab Four tribute band for the Beatles, and there's a Pink Floyd tribute band, and I'm a decently, like, I wouldn't say like huge, like I'm not on the same level as like a Jimi Hendrix fan for Pink Floyd, but I enjoy a lot of Pink Floyd songs. So I would now after seeing that, I'm like, oh, I gotta see like other tribute bands, and you're not gonna see Pink Floyd anymore,
right?
But you can always like see some tribute bands and stuff like that. So
just
maybe
see how other people put their spin on their music, kind of thing. Like
because me and my dad were watching it in the fact that like just watching the guitar players and their mannerisms and stuff, where everybody else, like, again, how we talk about it all the time, everybody's watching, where me and my dad are dissecting.
Yep.
And me and my dad were talking the day after, like, that guy was using this type of guitar. We're looking and trying to find the guitar that the guy was using, and the guitarist who was playing the guitar my dad was trying to look for, he played with Joe Perry from Aerosmith. So the guy was legit. And we talk about it all the time that we listen and watch performance is way different than so many other
Just
people.
like like
And my
a
mom's
casual
looking at
audience
me
now.
throughout the night because she knows when I watch that stuff. She's like, "You want to go on that stage?" I'm like, no matter what, it always hurts me to see other people like playing and I'm not up there. I don't like want to say like, oh, I should be up there. Like, but like it's more like
No, but
you're
you
so
want
used to
to.
performing and it's like a thing. Like when you're doing like you've been on stage and performing since you were young. Same thing with me. Like I've been performing
It
since I was
just
a teenager. It's
it
just a
just
thing.
gives you the itch, dude. Yeah.
Like you see people on stage and performing, like you can do that too. So it's like that little thing. Like, I mean, it'd be cool, but it's good to kind of just be the audience tonight and just watching it in that type of aspect instead of having your performer hat on.
Yep.
So it's a whole different ball game when you're in that type of thing. So it's cool. It's still cool seeing people perform instead of you being the performer. So,
All the time. Yeah. I mean, it's a treat when I get to just kick back and like even like for as many years as I was like director of a competition team and like taking the team to competitions and having to like manage them. When I go to watch the Maryland team that I choreographed for, which I'm actually going this weekend to see them, it's nice to just sit back and watch how dancers dance. Like, and when I was taking the teams before, I was backstage most of the time. Like, I didn't get to sit out front and just really watch. And like, so that's actually, I much enjoy it a lot these days.
Because you learn a lot even then, just learning from other people and just how they perform. And then you're like, oh, I've never seen, that type of thing taken it that way. Maybe I can incorporate that. And then that kind of just makes you even much of a better performer because you're, if you're seeing somebody else that performs better than you, you're always looking at the next level. Like, okay, you have like you're always hitting a ceiling of something. So like, okay, what's that next ceiling? So
yeah, it's nice to say, okay, they have this aspect nailed down. Like some kids, they get on stage and you can just tell they were made to be on stage from a performance aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if like they're not technically all the way there yet, it's like, all right, you'll get there.
Yeah.
Like, I hope you focus on that so that you can fine tune the technique. But like, just like sometimes they're just so enjoyable to watch because you can tell that they love it.
Right.
They're loving every second
like
of it.
That. Seeing performers that you can just tell that they love being up there and they're just in their zone. Yeah.
They're literally doing what entertainers are built to do, and it's like literally take you out, like to completely distract you from everything.
100%.
So I am looking forward to that and seeing the routines that I choreographed and the studio's pieces as a whole. Like I like to see, obviously not obviously, my sister Kim choreographs a lot of pieces for that studio. So I like talked to her. I've talked to her the last 7 or 8 months about like these, but I haven't seen any of them finished. So I'll get to see all of them this weekend. So it'll be really nice. All of that being said,
let's get into it.
Yeah, because you were like, oh, I'm gonna throw it on when I get home and watch as much of it as I can. And I was like, what do you know, spoiler wise? And you're like, all I know, like, I think you knew what did you say?
At the point, me and Jen were able to watch the women's Elimination Chamber match before the performance started because we were just in the theater, just sitting down.
But the show hadn't started.
So I'm like, just put it on. I'm like, at first I didn't want to because I wasn't sure how far the thing got into, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to go into another match because if I have to stop this during a match, I'm not going to want to. But I think they had just started the Elimination Chamber match. So I'm like, all right, cool. We'll at least probably see the full chamber match by the time the performance starts, and it got done about 10-15 minutes before they started. So at that point, I just watched the chamber match, got home, flipped on Becky and AJ, went to the men's chamber match.
Yeah, because I was telling you, I was like, you can watch Punk and Balor tomorrow. Like,
I actually watched it right after the chamber. So
nice.
I was so into them. I'm like, all right, let me just watch Punk and Finn, I ended up like passing out the last like 2 minutes, and I had like to rewind just to see the finish. But yeah, I got to see everything else, and then you were saying before I saw that I had to tune into the post show for it. Saw the post show, so.
Well,
Out of everything we were talking, I think everything kind of worked out really well, minus a couple things that we'll get into. But let's I know we have some notes down, so let's start nailing these out.
All right. So Women's Chamber, we get Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley as the final two, which I think makes total sense. 100%. I obviously was like, they might do the Alexa Bliss thing. They have Charlotte not going in, and she's all depressed, and everybody's thinking Charlotte's gonna turn. Like, I feel like the one thing that WWE is doing a good job at is they're planting a lot of seeds to distract us, right? So,
right,
everything's not so blatantly obvious. There is some stuff that is super predictable, and it's allowed to be, right? As long as it all unfolds in a way that's like, okay, they got it right, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh, they really nailed that one, or they kind of just missed the mark. So Rhea Ripley gets the win, and I think that I posted on One Set Fam on Facebook like an hour before the Chamber. I was like, just some final thoughts here, final predictions. With Rhea and Io losing the tag titles the night before, I was like, it looks like they're going singles directions towards WrestleMania, which is what made sense as to why Nia Jax and Lash Legend got those tag titles off them. Which it's perfectly fine. I mean, Io and Rhea are single stars in their own right.
Yes.
Rhea gets the win. I know before I was like, I don't know what Tiffany Stratton does for WrestleMania if she's not facing, like, because everything has really just mostly been with her, like, for the most part.
I didn't even know it was Tiff at first, because the whole black and red attire threw me off. I thought it was Liv Morgan. I'm like, why is Liv in the Chamber? Like, but then she turned around, I'm like, oh, that's Tiff. Like, she has a total different, attire on. She's usually like either pink or white or something bright or sparkly, and then I did not see her come.
Cheyenne didn't recognize her either. She was like, who's this bitty?
Yeah.
I was like, that's Tiffany Stratton. She's like, oh, that doesn't even look like her. Yeah, so she got, and my dad was like, she's been around for a long time, hasn't she? I was like, she literally just had like her first WrestleMania last year.
Yeah.
Like,
and she definitely, lost a little bit of weight, got a little bit more toner too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell that she, with the time being off, she kind of had some time in the gym, got a little leaner. She's not obviously to the point where she's Ozempic thin, but she's more athletic thin. So it's good. You can tell me, and even then before, it's not like she was like overweight or, she was more like, right. I don't want to say, because, it's going to be more.
I think ultimately she was injured and was able to strict regimen and control what, like, her diet and what she ate, because when you're on the road, I'm sure it's super tough, like, for them to do, like, it's kind of like eat what's available in catering, or
definitely hard to be on some type of a system or plan, because you're, like you said, you're on the road, and there's no way to kind of prepare foods, like you say, you're catering, or having some type of food service like Factor, or I'm sure the wrestlers do a lot of that, like
I would imagine
Factor meals, which I haven't got into yet, but I've been really contemplating that as I get down further into my weight loss, where I need to start like getting to that point where you need to dial in like every little piece of food that you do, and like really not be as far off and not have a lot of cheat stuff, because there's
you got a scale or no?
I do.
Okay.
I still have the scale that I use like 10, 15
way back summer shredding. Yeah.
Yep. So I still use that. I mean, I weigh mostly everything out if I need to. So, and then there's times where, like we had pizza over the weekend, but I only had like one or two slices. So like, I don't really consider it a cheat meal if it's within my calorie range and I don't go out of the calorie range.
Yeah, a cheat
It's
meal.
only a cheat if I'm like having 5 slices of pizza and it goes way over my calorie range and out. Then that's like I mess up the whole day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just make it fit into my thing where now it's like as long as I'm still losing weight with stuff, like if I can have something out of it, like weekends I kind of just are a little more flexible. During the week, it's like really strict with what I'm doing. But yeah, I can only imagine with wrestlers kind of dealing with that unless you don't have like a strict meal plan or some dietitian or meal guy like working out your whole thing. Or if you have the money, like, I mean, sure, like guys like Cena and stuff, they don't have to worry about that. But like, the people that are really just kind of, going the day-to-day grind, they're just kind of going through catering, doing that, and, just trying to get to the gym every day, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Tiff looked great, like overall in the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
The real MVPs of the women's chamber was Kiana James and Raquel Rodriguez. I mean, what a way for these two to shine! Like their first. I don't know if it was Raquel's first chamber.
I think it was,
but
if not second.
Dude, the spot with Raquel doing the power slam through the chamber door on Kiana was like,
yeah,
ridiculous. I think overall, all around, and we'll get to the men's chamber, but I thought that the women's chamber all around was really well done, and I thought all of them did really good. I mean, you had Alexa and Asuka in there, who were vets. Like Alexa's been around, I want to say 10 years now.
I'm pretty sure.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Asuka's been around for a minute, at least going on 7 years now. Maybe
yeah,
8.
I definitely got to agree that it. I'd say out of the last couple women's chambers, it's probably like they're getting better each year with that.
I mean, but that's
structurally wise too.
Yeah, that's also the women's talent coming out of NXT, or like the farming, the farming system of women's talent coming up from NXT. Like and we should probably just, I mean, do you have anything else you want to say about the women's chamber match? Because I mean, I thought all around it was great. Yeah. Congrats to Rhea Ripley. Rhea versus Jade is going to be a good match. I think it's
the best, because after Rhea and Io lost on SmackDown the night before, I'm like, definitely think it's going to be Rhea at this point. I mean, if they were still together, I would have definitely kept Tiff. But after that happened, I'm like, yeah, Tiff's probably. I definitely thought it would be Rhea and Tiff at the end, but I think it would have just been Rhea since they lost those tag belts.
Yeah, it does already just feel like they're sending Rhea Ripley to SmackDown after WrestleMania. Like she's going to be on Fridays.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's, and I'm not saying Jade Cargill can't win. I think Rhea Ripley has to carry Jade Cargill for Jade to have a good match, because Jade is still rough around the edges. They're not giving her any reps. She's not having hardly any matches. So it's like, I'm like,
but again, she's that walking around the back, just staring at people. And that's not how you defend the title.
Yeah, but if anyone was going to do that, she is the person to do it. I'll give it to her. I
don't want to mess with her. Yeah, I think Rhea and Jade are going to be the better match. I mean, I would have been fine with Tiff and Jade or Rhea and Jade, but I think our main theme around this series that we've been doing is like the best business decisions. The best business decisions.
They have to lay out the best matches, and we're going to talk about that coming out of the men's chamber for sure.
So I mean, Rhea and Jade is where it's at on the women's side.
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
Money.
It is money. Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee, Women's Intercontinental Championship. I mean, AJ wins. Here's the thing, right? I know I talked about like this feud and the promos that they're cutting. Like for me, it just something wasn't making sense. And I'm like, okay, before this, Becky's character development, like I was actually like, whoa, she's taking this heel turn to another level, like just how she's carrying herself. And then I was like, watching her do the AJ Lee work, and I'm like, why are these promos so wonky? Like, I'm watching the match, and I mean, I remember their stuff from WrestlePalooza and feeling like this is kind of a dumpster fire, but like, we're here for it because you get like Seth and Punk in there, and then now it's like, all right, it's just Becky and AJ Lee. Let's be honest, right? Like, AJ Lee was not a technically super sound wrestler back in her time when she was in her prime, right? Like, she was the Divas champion, which made sense for her and her character work and her persona. She's getting in the ring with Becky Lynch, and Becky's looking sloppy in the ring, and something tells me it's like, does Becky legitimately just hate that she has to work with AJ Lee right now? Like, she would rather be facing legitimate women's wrestlers that have been putting in the work in the last 5 or 10 years. Like, is this where they're blurring the lines are blurred, where it's like, okay, maybe Becky actually just doesn't want to do this, and that's why it feels like really rough on her part, because I don't think Becky Lynch is the greatest women's wrestler. I do think that her character work during Mania 35, during the rise for when she won the main event of WrestleMania, was her prime.
That was definitely her best work and then, her best year.
Yeah. Sure. And then she went out after WrestleMania 36, COVID era, because she was pregnant. And she came back and it was fine. Like, she's been all right. They do the heel turn.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything's been super stellar since there's good stuff, but like, for where she was at the top, I mean, she was one of the faces of the company, right?
It's almost like she's, been trying to get back to that same level. Yeah. But it's like, okay, we've seen you do this before.
But also, she's being a mom, so she's like, I am honestly not 100% in, because my kid is my everything, and this is just a job for me now, which is, hey, that's fine. You don't really have anything left to prove. If they're going to pay you, cool. But AJ Lee wins the title, and I'm just like, okay, she comes out on Raw. Neither of us watched this promo. They're doing a gauntlet match to determine the number one contender. Becky Lynch is not in the gauntlet. That doesn't mean that she won't finesse her way in at some point.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, I can definitely see her, getting herself in the match at Mania, and just kind of either costing AJ the belt, or having something to do with within that match.
It feels very fatal 4-way between AJ, Becky, Natty, and Maxine Dupree. Like, that they all have just been kind of like,
yeah, the four of them still have like some unfinished business, so you could throw that in there too.
That's the payoff for Mania. Like, if I had to book it right now,
and you give AJ a little bit more, to get a few more of her people that she wanted to wrestle with in one match.
Sure.
So yeah, and kind of how we took the Drew McIntyre match, like, just having AJ Lee face one person may not be, the most marketable. You may need the extra, like, triple threat or fatal 4-way to give it a little more pizzazz to it. So
yeah. I mean, it is Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Like, the problem is, it's like, okay, the match sells itself. Does it? Does it?
That's
actually?
What I was going to say. I mean, the
we
names
just had it.
the
And it's
name
like,
the names itself are great, but the way that they're selling it, it's like,
mm,
you could do
not
better.
not quite hitting the mark. So it's like, oh, Becky and AJ one-on-one sells itself. Well, they just did it for a reason. Do they need to run it back just the two of them, or do we want to throw a couple more people into the mix? And it's like, for me, throw a couple people in there so that you can make the match a little bit more interesting, make the build more interesting, because it needs it. Because like just the two of them together has been weird, and I'm not buying it. Like I'm just not here for it.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Um,
just something that's not clicking all the way yet,
and it might just be Becky doesn't want to do this, so it's just like
and it could just also be AJ, like she's been away from it for so long that she's just still trying to find her footing in getting into that
could be
character again.
Could be the both of them. Who knows?
So yeah, you never know.
CM Punk versus Finn Balor. From how much I paid attention to it, which was, I mean, it's hard to be invested in a match where it's like, we know CM Punk's winning because they've already promoted CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Like, that's already happening. I love Finn Balor to death. Like, but I'm like, this is all going towards basically what we saw begin to really unfold on Raw tonight, which we're going to talk about. Cool. The biggest thing was they had an amicable handshake at the end of it. I was like, okay, they're turning Finn Balor face. Like, it is happening, right?
Yep.
That was the biggest takeaway from that. CM Punk doesn't get injured. Like, so that's good. I mean, his face
definitely play it safe, so Punk definitely gets in the Mania for that match. So
his face looks banged up. I don't know if that's makeup or if he's actually beat.
Yeah, he definitely got a little bit of a shiner for sure.
Yeah. The men's Elimination Chamber match. Notable takeaways. I actually thought Javon Evans was going to do more.
Yeah. And we had that one little spot, but yeah, I definitely thought we were going to get a couple more of those.
Yeah.
For sure.
Maybe they told him to hold off because of how many people were going down on injuries.
Maybe.
So they're like, you're not flipping off the top of the pod. It's your first chamber. We can hold that spot for another time when we don't have so many people out. Just do a frog splash, right?
Yeah, especially being so close to Mania, and we just had Bronson
just getting started.
Out. Yeah, we don't need another injury costing us this thing. So yeah, could have just held it back, but yeah. Another notable thing I'm sure that's on your notes that either this is one of your next ones, but the one that just comes to mind is the LA Knight spot.
Yep.
So there's actually two. One that I just saw before we recorded that he fudged up and ran himself into the chamber, glass wall. And then he's like, oh, yeah, that's glass. Goes around. Like, so even before he gets into the match, botch, and during the match, botch. So,
I just think he has these like glitches where he gets a little bit ahead of himself. Like his brain is moving, like he wants his body to move faster than his brain is processing. So it's like he has these things, these like little mini. But I mean,
the synapses aren't firing.
Yeah, little misfires. Thank you.
The
top.
In a way, all in all, I'm glad he didn't hurt himself.
Yeah, for sure. I've been waiting since the first time I saw him start hopping from the second up onto the third rope. I was like, one of these days he's gonna botch and miss.
Yeah.
And what an inopportune. Now, granted, at the same time, he botches that, hits the elbow. Something happens, and then 3 seconds later, Logan Paul hits the low blow, roll up for the pin, and it's just like, man, LA Knight just really had a bad day at work.
Yeah.
Rough night at the office.
And then I saw Logan Paul pretty much like put Javon Evans almost pretty much right on his head.
Dude, Javon sold the absolute piss out of that pulverizer, dude. Like, I saw my dad, because I was watching it with him. um, he was like, "Was that supposed to happen like that?" I was like, "I think Javon is just trying to really sell that move in ways that other people won't or can't."
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, shout out to the guy. Cheyenne was like, "Is he okay?" She hates Logan Paul, so she's like, "F this guy."
Yeah.
Just can't stand him. And then we get to Trick Williams' entrance. I mean, the guy's got the R, dude.
Like,
He's standing there, and the camera's just moving around, and he's soaking it all in.
yeah, or
And
dude.
I'm sitting here just like, dude, this guy is so money.
Like,
And
dude,
like,
just strap him to the effing moon. Like,
yeah, put
like,
the rocket on his
Whoopsie.
and just
yeah,
full
let
send.
him go, man.
Full send.
He's got like, it's so good to see that. We're talking about it a couple episodes. The fact that it was good that they didn't throw him up into the main card like so quickly. They gave him that year or two to develop, and now even like he wasn't doing like the same thing he's doing now in the main roster what he was doing 2 years ago. So he's gotten to be able to develop that same character. He's still doing a lot of the same mannerisms and little rhymes and stuff, but I think he's dialed all of it in to the point where it's just hitting on
All cylinders, dude.
cylinders.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean,
and
we're gonna see it in 6 months to a year from now where he is versus like Carmelo Hayes.
they definitely got to run that back.
Yeah, but they brought Melo up pretty quick, and he's just been floating
Yes.
about. And I think he's excellent. Like his matches are great. They're clearly dragging out this Ilya Dragunov stuff,
Yes.
and it's like, just
That'll
give us
have
the
a
match at
payoff.
Mania. Yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
Trick Williams' money. I am so high.
Mhm.
I mean, Cheyenne is turning up the music and she's going whoop that. It's like she loves Trick Williams.
Yeah,
I was
man.
like, let's
and,
go.
and it's easy just to catch on to that.
Yeah,
You know.
dude's
Uh,
infectious. Dude is
uh-huh.
infectious.
Yeah, man. It's I'm stoked to see him, getting good responses so quickly.
Absolutely.
And especially with all the injuries right now, they have more room to just be like, hey, we have nothing else to lose. See how far he can get over with this right now.
Capitalize
While
Yep.
we're waiting for all these guys. I mean, we do have Seth Rollins back now, but we don't know how good he is, if he's going to be able to get into Mania at this point right now. Chances are they'll probably think of something because they got it at this point. But yeah, I mean, as far as Trick Williams with we have most of the people that are out, send him into that spot, give him something decent for WrestleMania, and just start building off of him.
Yeah,
with something.
I don't. Okay, so Javon gets out. LA Knight gets out. Trick Williams, gets hit with the crossroads, and
Yes.
then Logan Paul does this goofy thing. The ref's in the way. I think Cody thought he was getting thrown into the corner that was on like the down left of the screen.
Yeah.
And then Logan went to like rotate and throw him into the upper left corner, and the ref was like almost in the way. I was like, this is sloppy.
Yes, okay, I'm remembering that spot. Like the ref was kind of like running to, and he kind of stopped,
And he's like, "Oh,
he almost got
whoopsie."
mauled. Like whoopsie, like dude, he almost got mauled. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
he just like stopped on a dime.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, you almost got rocked. Like,
Yep. Throws Cody in and then gets the pin. And I'm like, this was supposed to be the Bronson Reed show. He was supposed to get all three of those pins.
yeah, for sure. Yep, they just gave Logan Paul all of Bronson Reed's spots for sure.
We get the decoy number 2, which we didn't even talk about the first decoy on SmackDown because it was just like,
Yeah,
they took the mask off and it's like, who's this guy? And then it's like,
the dude's just looking at the camera like, but now that we've had the time to really, reflect on how it went down on SmackDown, how it went down at the Elimination Chamber, and even on Raw, love the decoy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
they
throwing in there for Seth.
They made they made the masked man that was clearly not the same person all along make sense
Yes.
after the fact. So it's like, okay, I was surprised to see decoys on tonight. It's like, okay, like, is Seth Rollins just doing this like noob Cybot, like Mortal Kombat? Like,
Right.
is that what we're doing here? Which would make sense because the new Mortal Kombat movie is coming out in May. So for that one, but
I like it.
Yeah,
The fact that it's just like they're taking it to that extra level instead of it just being Seth in the suit and just going out. Like they're thinking outside the box with it to kind of just reflect. Once Logan went after the one guy, once Theory went off the other, I'm like, Seth's coming, taking out. He's going to do something to Paul, drops him, gives him the stomp. Cool. So this is either going to set up most likely Seth and Logan.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, that's what it felt like they were building for tonight.
Which, again, Logan is going to take Braun Breaker's spot.
Yeah, and I feel like that's being set into motion now in case Braun Breaker is not ready. But, like,
right.
It could be the Monday Night Raw before Mania. Braun Breaker's cleared. He comes out and and I don't know. I would be surprised if they book Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul immediately. I feel like they're gonna hold off on that just in case, unless if it's like, all right, just do Seth and Logan at WrestleMania and we'll build to Seth and Braun Breaker at SummerSlam. Like, they might drag that out. I don't know.
I mean, we got
4 months,
4 weeks.
Well, from Mania to SummerSlam, it's like, okay, we've seen them stretch stuff out longer than 4 months before. So, like,
yeah, I'm saying on your fact of like waiting to book Logan and Seth, we do have about 4 weeks, so they can just get. And if they are waiting for a hypothetical Braun Breaker to make an unbelievable comeback really quick, they could just wait another 2 to 3 weeks.
So the go home show for WrestleMania for Monday Night Raw is in 6 weeks from today.
Okay, so that's more than enough time to be thinking whether if
it's going to be Seth and Logan or Seth and Breaker. Yeah,
they can give it another like 3-4 weeks and be like, okay, where's the progress going? Is he going to be good, or do we just wait for the SummerSlam one? And if by mid-March, they don't have a definitive answer for that, they just switch on Logan and Seth at Mania, and then they can always just book Braun Breaker and Seth at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. I mean, it could literally be the go-home show and Braun Breaker shows up and that's the match.
Just spears Seth out of nowhere, and I would be fine with that.
I mean, if we can get it the Monday before that, and then we can have them build the Monday after that, that would be plenty.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, the final two. We all had it. We all had it as they were the last two, right?
Yep.
Drew McIntyre comes in, which we didn't even talk about, like, the SmackDown bit with, like, SmackDown opens with Jey Uso's in the ambulance, and I'm dying laughing because I'm like, because Jey Uso wasn't supposed to win the Chamber qualifier match last Monday, and
I saw it in between because I wanted to make sure that I saw the beginning of SmackDown, and I missed like literally like the first like 2 minutes of that where Jey got taken out in the ambulance. I think it was either who's the general manager for
Nick Aldis.
He was coming out, or I think it was the Vision that just came out. They're like, oh well, it's unfortunate what happened to Jey, and I'm like, oh, something happened to Jey. All right, well, he's out. He wasn't supposed to be in there. I tweeted out. By the way, we have a Twitter. We'll get to that. But we're tweeting out. Well, Jey wasn't supposed to be in the match anyway, so this is a quick version to just get him out of the match.
Yep. So we get the Logan Paul. We get Logan Paul versus Jacob Fatu which is where Logan unmasked the decoy, and
Yes.
then Drew McIntyre shows up and hits Jacob Fatu with the belt. So I was surprised not to see Jacob Fatu at the Chamber,
Yeah.
but however, we get so many dudes. We get Drew McIntyre hits Cody Rhodes with the belt and causes all that shenanigans. Cody Rhodes hits Drew with the crossroads and then stands up and gets the RKO by Orton. 1, 2, 3. Orton wins the Chamber. And super stoked it wasn't just an outright Cody Rhodes wins, the Chamber, right?
Yeah.
And then we get to the post show and we get Drew McIntyre and Nick Aldis going at it backstage. We get out to the panel. Nick Aldis comes out and announces this Friday on SmackDown, which by the time this airs will be tonight, Cody Rhodes is getting his title shot against Drew McIntyre. And I'm like, it's happening. But it's like,
it's happening. Oh my God.
Okay. So I'm like, they're literally going with Cody Rhodes wins the title in defense against Randy Orton. That's where my head's at immediately. Again, just them one-on-one seems like the best counter to Roman Reigns and CM Punk, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, if that's what they do, then we could get Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu one-on-one, which is like, maybe Jacob Fatu just returns the favor from SmackDown where Drew screwed Jacob Fatu in that Chamber qualifier, and then Jacob Fatu screws Drew McIntyre, and we get Cody Rhodes wins, and that's what would set that up. Unless we're actually getting Drew McIntyre versus Nick Aldis at Mania, and I'm like, that would be wild, but I can also see that being a Backlash match in Tampa at the pay-per-view after Mania.
Yeah.
Because, what else do you do with Jacob Fatu at that point, right? So I feel like Jacob Fatu costs Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes gets the belt, and you just let Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu go have a banger of a match. I will love it to pieces. And just give us Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton at Mania. Like, just give it to us. If we wind up getting the Fatal 4-Way match, fine. But
it just gives it more value. But yeah, if we get Cody Randy and nothing else,
I just think it's so much stronger. Like, I would rather more matches and let Drew and Jacob go one-on-one.
But I definitely think that's where you get Jacob Fatu is this Friday between Drew and Cody. Fatu causing Drew the belt. Cody wins. Cody and Randy at Mania. But you could get Aldis, saying that, well, now he's mad at Fatu for causing the match. By the way, everybody's going after this. I'm making it a Fatal 4-Way. So
yeah,
we could still get that Fatal 4-Way, but
and I'll be fine.
You don't need anything else if it's Cody and Randy.
It's fine, but it's almost like, and I am a big Simone Werewolf fan. I'm wearing that hoodie on this podcast at least once a month. I just feel like Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, to how big that he's elevated himself in the last couple of years, and then you have Jacob Fatu, who's just like the up and come. Like, I kind of don't like the dynamic all around. I mean, I love the four of them, but like a strong WrestleMania showcase of the Immortals, it should just be Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes.
100%. I agree.
Okay. Let's get to Raw real quick. I know we've hit on some of the things along the way. I thought the opener with Seth and the Dequest, that to me really paid off the Masked Man the entire time, as much as we were like, you basically said it. I mean, but I thought, the Chamber spot was cool. Raw Heyman getting the chair shot to the back and the curb stomp, I was just like,
Good
icing on the
stuff.
cake. Icing
Good
on the
stuff.
cake. And if anything, it really, I felt like the post show was the best part of the chamber, with it feeling like, okay, we are now in WrestleMania season. And then Raw opens up with that. And I'm like, we're here, folks.
Yeah.
They're kicking it into high gear. And I mean, LFG, like legit.
Yeah, loved it. I definitely wouldn't have thought they were going in that angle based off what they did Friday night. I was thinking, okay, they definitely did a flop of maybe they just like were, letting this masked man go because everything just went to crap. Like, let's just reveal it. And it was just played off like it was just a random audience member and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But I'm like, well, this could be a continuation for the chamber. They paid it off the chamber. Seth comes back and, they even add the addition to what they did at Raw tonight with the decoys and springing that out so that Seth can have his revenge on Paul, who, Seth, was already before aligning with Paul Heyman he wasn't the best, with Paul Heyman, aligns with Paul Heyman, then Paul Heyman screws him over. So best revenge on Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman finally gets some type of, thing going on him with, screwing over Roman, screwing over CM Punk, and then now screwing over Seth Rollins. So finally getting his payday. Yeah, I think the Masked Man thing definitely, put a, like you said, icing on the cake from what we've been dealing with over the last couple weeks, because we were wondering, they did the Masked Man thing with Austin Theory, but how do you pay that off again and try to make it better than, just having the same person come out every week? Whoever thought of the decoys, hats off to you.
Yeah. It worked out in the end as much, and it should just go to show, like, when stuff seems wonky, sometimes we just have to trust the process and let it ride out and hope that they book it right.
Yeah. We'll have to watch Unreal to probably figure out who was the
who were the other
behind,
ones. Yeah.
Behind the Unreal, or the who was the mastermind behind thinking of like the decoy aspects of it.
Yeah. I will say they got Heyman. I don't think he's going to be on Raw next week based off. I mean, he got taken out. He got taken out in the ambulance. They got LA Knight driving the ambulance. I was like, chef's kiss. It was so good.
I didn't see that part.
You didn't see that part. Yeah.
No.
So, they load him in.
Perfect.
Yeah, and they loaded him in. They loaded Heyman into the back. Theory and Logan Paul freaking out. And
I did see that part.
And
yeah,
Logan Paul is telling Theory like, "Oh, we gotta go find him. We gotta go." And then Jimmy Uso pops out the car and starts wailing on Austin Theory, so it sets up that match for later on. And then they just show LA Knight like on camera saying like, "I'll take good care of him." Yeah, and then he drives off. Everyone, it was good.
Nice.
So it is curious. Just thinking like, Heyman's definitely not on Raw next week.
No.
But then the Monday after that, March 16th, it starts. The Brock Lesnar is on Raw every Monday, waiting for someone to come out, kind of thing. So Heyman's got to be with Brock for that, right? So I feel like we're gonna get Logan Paul and Theory next Monday, and Adam Pearce is just gonna be like, "Look, Seth Rollins is suspended." Like, basically say he's not here. He wasn't cleared to be in the ring, and he had to have consequence for his actions. And then it just writes Seth off for a couple weeks, and then he comes back. Maybe he is rested and ready to go. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Seth is on Raw every week from now on.
Yeah, unless next week Seth comes on to explain everything that's gone down, and you get a Austin Theory, Logan Paul, Seth in the ring doing their whole, promo, and it could, start putting in lines for Logan Paul and Seth. But I can see it also being the same fact that Austin and Logan Paul come out, they call out Seth, and Adam Pearce comes out and says, we gave Seth Rollins the night off, giving him for what he did last week. And, so now they got to wait another week or two. But then, yeah, like you said, Brock Lesnar's going to be coming back. So does Paul Heyman come back that following week? There's a lot going to be going on in the next
well,
couple
because
weeks.
he's aligned with more than one person, right? Earlier you said, they had to think outside the box with, the masked man. Another thing, as far as outside the box is concerned, we got the box unveiling at the chamber, and we said we weren't going to talk for more than 30 seconds about this because it was like waste.
Yeah, here it goes.
Out comes Danhausen. He was rumored to be the guy. He's from Chicago. I don't know anything about him. I thought, any casual fan just saw that and was like, total waste. What is this dog?
Whoopsie.
Yeah, right.
But we get to Monday Night Raw. He's backstage with Pierce. He sets the curse on Dominic Mysterio, who's getting ready to defend that IC title against Penta. And I'm like, Penta's about to win this title.
Yeah,
just because Danhausen cast the curse on him. And then you said, just based off of Penta's entrance, you're like,
because he got way more pyro tonight, and usually that's an inkling that something's going to go down and something's going to happen for that person. That's always my inkling. So he had the extra pyro in the ring. I'm like, no, they never do that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he's going to win. And then the whole Danhausen came over me. I'm like, okay, he did say you're cursed to Dom. So I'm like, Penta's got this in the back.
Penta's got this. And then Dom tells JD to go get the ring hammer, and Finn gets up and stops him. And I was like,
yep,
there it is.
That's the thing that'll be like something that'll be the continuation for next week. Dom and Finn go at it, and he's like, why didn't you help? Well, you said you wanted to get it done by yourself. Like, no, that's what the Dom to Finn, that's what you wanted. I needed your help.
Seed planted.
Yep.
It's happening.
And then you get McDonough just being in the middle of it, like dude, like stop. But it's gonna be stop. But then that's how we're gonna get the Finn Balor and Dom feud, which I'm ready for. I'm ready for a face Finn Balor. It's been way too long.
Yep. Give us a demon. My goodness.
Yes, please.
So, Gunther versus Dragon Lee is a thing that happened. I know you missed it. Dragon Lee almost died like a couple times. The power bombs that he ate were ridiculous. I would actually say, I know, like sometimes I'm like, yeah, it was good. You should watch it. I'll
have to go back.
Go back. And then the end of the match. It looks like Dragon Lee is about to get the win. Gunther puts him in a chokehold, yanks his mask off, and the way that they were showing it, you couldn't see anything. But then, as he had him in the chokehold, he had his arm over his face to cover him, and Dragon Lee starts tapping immediately. I think it was just because he was like, "Oh, my mask's off,"
right.
They show the replay from a different camera angle, and you can totally see Dragon Lee's face. And I was like, me and Cheyenne are like, that's not going to go over well. That's going to be all over the internet, and the luchador community is going to be
whoopsie.
Not at Dragon Lee, but production. They messed up bad, dude.
They might even cut that and try to fix that for the replay for Netflix, if anything, if they can do that.
I mean, they can cut it on Netflix, but people have stilled it, and it's already on.
it's
It's
yeah,
already on the internet. It's already
yeah.
a done deal.
Even if they edit it, it's done. So
Yep.
yeah,
So you should watch that.
definitely will.
They do
Definitely will.
they do the Jimmy and Theory match. Jey Uso comes back. He's got some crutches, and let me tell you, Jimmy Uso can't swing a crutch to save himself.
And he's even looking at Jimmy like, "I got this, bro." Like,
Dude, he picks up that crutch and he goes, it's so bad, dude.
yeah.
And
Jay at his best.
that's all I'm going to say about that. So if if Braun Breaker does come back, we could just get Logan Paul and Austin Theory going after the Usos, because we thought it was going to be Penta and Rey Fenix, but Logan Paul and Austin Theory versus the Usos for the tag titles doesn't sound like a bad Mania match to me.
If that's gonna be something that they need to put them in Mania just to have a match for, and the Usos to have a match, I'm totally fine with that.
Game.
Because now, Rey Fenix doesn't look like it's going to happen with Penta. Penta's the new Intercontinental Champion. You know, does he get a WrestleMania match as the Intercontinental Champion? You know,
he
maybe,
sure better.
I mean, hopefully they start having him compete. I mean, hopefully they just don't start, putting it as like that traditional, TLC Intercontinental Championship match, and he just goes against 7 guys. He's going to lose then. So,
I mean, it might be that, but
but he doesn't really have too many people on his back. He doesn't have too many targets right now.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, they do have.
I don't think they'll do that. Yeah,
they do have 6 weeks, so we'll see.
We'll see what he does in these next couple weeks since being the new champ. So but stoked for Penta finally getting his reward. He definitely deserved it.
He debuted a year ago, so like we thought he might win it at WrestleMania last year. It's taken a year.
So kudos.
Yeah,
to Penta.
Shout out to Penta. Like we're all stoked for him. Obafemi and Rusev are running a program, and seeing them in the ring, I was like, okay, like Rusev is not that much smaller. Like that match is happening next Monday, and I'm like, okay, they might have every Raw going up to Mania have like some good stuff going on.
There's a lot of good things like all around for Raw right now. So almost so much to the point it's like, okay, you got to give all these some type of breather. TV time and a breather as well. So you don't want to overdo it, but you want to be able to give some type of content to all these things around. So Obafemi and Rusev, perfect.
Let's go. Roman Reigns comes out, CM Punk comes out.
This promo.
So I'm such a stickler for people that are on their level not botching anything. I get it. They're human. Like, give them some grace. But we're also conditioned. People got to understand, if you weren't, like, around or paying attention to wrestling back in the Attitude Era, I mean, Austin, I don't remember Triple H really botching ever his lines. The Rock never missed.
No. He was always on point.
Like, you just didn't hear people slipping up that bad that were at the top of the food chain, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So when Roman Reigns slips once, slips twice, I'm like, you're supposed to be like the it guy of the company, you don't even work every week, so like you should be nailing your shit, right?
Right.
I get it. I'm being super critical. Punk goes to kind of retaliate, and I'm like, I'm typing the note. I'm like, and as like for CM Punk, he doesn't have the same fire in the promos anymore that he used to. And then he drops that last line, "I'm gonna bury you next to your dad." And
I was doing a set and he did that, and I let out a big ooh. Like, Like right as I was put out the weight, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna bury you next to your father." I'm like, "Ooh!" Like, yeah, that line was.
I was
Oh
like,
man,
I was
that's
like,
gonna put so much fire under Roman at that point.
I gotta,
Like now we got a match.
I gotta send this to you so quick, just like in my notes, just like how I was typing it.
But yeah, on how you were saying on the fact that with
I was just
them
like,
botching and yeah.
Punk doesn't have the same fire in his promos anymore. Wait a minute.
Women.
And I was
Just so
like,
you remember that, yeah. But yeah, when you're talking about the fact that when you're in that upper echelon of the card, you should be having your lines down. You should be, I mean, everybody botches, everybody messes up a line, but when you're in this critical moment in Mania, you need to be at a level where, like, okay, you need to know your stuff. Like,
well, when they're trying to push Mania tickets and they're desperate as much as they are,
yeah,
it's like you don't have room for error. And
right.
And not for nothing, they should run Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, so it could be like, okay, maybe this is the night 2 main event, and maybe it is Punk and Reigns the night 1. Like, I would actually love it if it was just Randy and Cody, and it's like, okay, who knows which one's going to go what night? Because if it's a multi-man match, that's I don't know.
It was like last year where they were kind of determined, or they didn't know whether they were going to put Jay in the first or second night, but it came down to those last couple weeks that when he was botching the matches and botching this, botching that, they're like night 1.
The bill got screwy, and they were like, let's just open night 1, and
Yep.
they had the Seth and Roman and Punk triple threat main event, which was like the perfect call. It's that triple threat and the Rhea, Io, and Bianca triple threat, like stole Mania for me. I mean, the two of them.
So now it's you're in that type of zone where, like, okay, you have like, the 2 main events. Who's going to take the win of, like, who deserves to be in the main event?
Who's delivering on TV every week that deserves a spot? Like, they get to earn it.
Right now, obviously, still Roman, and no matter what, like, I still think, regardless of the little botches that Roman did, they are still the main show, the match you want to see. They are still in that second night spot. But it's like now it's to the point where you're getting really critical of, like, okay, week by week, is this Cody and Randy thing going to start creeping up after we, if Cody wins this week, then it's really going to start cooking on the fact that, like, okay, can Randy and Cody start creeping up to CM Punk and Reigns and start giving them, a little bit of competition? Like, okay, now we really got to sell our match. Like, who can outdo each other each week?
Well, we know that Cody Rhodes is Triple H's darling, right?
Yes.
So if I'm Triple H and he's my guy, I'm doing everything that I can to give Cody Rhodes the opportunity to prove that he should be the night 2 closer, and that is give him Randy Orton, get us that match, and it's like, okay, up to you guys. You decide, like, between Punk and Reigns and Cody and Randy, like, duke it out. Whoever sells their match better gets to close night 2. And
I can't agree with that more.
Yeah, I don't know. I tonight got me pretty stoked. I was looking forward to tonight. Like, I had a feeling like, okay, they've got to piggyback off of the Chamber and really start ramping up the road to WrestleMania. Let's go. And I thought it was great. Like, I can't wait for SmackDown to get this Cody and Drew title match just to see how it all unfolds, so that next Monday when we're back here doing this again, it's like, okay, we're getting a multi-man match, or okay, they're probably going to do Cody and Randy one-on-one.
Yep. Things are definitely going to start heating up. We, like you said earlier, we are now 5-6 weeks away from the big weekend, WrestleMania. So start put on the gas. Things are going to start heating up.
Yeah.
I think this week definitely is one of those weeks where it's like, let's just start turning up the heat a little bit and let's just start getting this thing going. So I'm stoked. I think a lot of things are starting to align. I think they are, starting to, tighten up on loose ends now. I think the chamber blew off another thing to this road to WrestleMania.
It was all around an all right show if you didn't go in with high expectations, which we weren't, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I really feel like
it did what it needed to do to get us through these next couple weeks of, okay, what's going to happen?
Yep.
So, like I said, wasn't the best Elimination Chamber ever, wasn't a top 10, but it did what it needed to do. It continued storylines. It made like new storylines to continue what's going to go on the next couple weeks. But, there were some must see parts. There were some parts that obviously was like, okay, we could have done without that, but
yeah, it's fine.
It did what it needed to do, and I'm stoked for these next couple weeks to come for sure.
Yeah, we got 5 more Monday nights before Mania, so we got 5 more episodes of doing some more of this, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to it with you, brother.
Absolutely.
Let's wrap this one up,
dude. Before we get out of here, everybody, I want to let you know we are now on X. So make sure you guys follow us on X. We've been, trying to, get that off the ground. So if anybody is on X and watching us, we'll be, throwing our clips and, we'll be putting up some polls during the rest of our WrestleMania talk. And we might have a couple more, little like live sessions on there or whatever. I'm kind of having some ideas through that.
It's what I use X for.
I know you are a big X, user. So
for wrestling,
more than me.
For wrestling and NFL mostly, like that's what I
because
really...
I used to be really big on it was Twitter back then, but I was really big on Twitter like about 10, 15 years ago. But I've kind of put on the downside of it because I think for music wise, it really wasn't. It kind of really took it downhill with for a music platform.
Well,
so
it turned into like a political machine, and
Yeah.
I fell off of it then. Like I looked for the wrestling, but like very little because it was so bombarded with all of it. Like when the election was happening, I was like, I'm not playing. I'm not here for that. So at any rate,
yeah, definitely. And I think the wrestling, fandom on X is definitely
huge.
popping off.
It's huge
for us,
and it has been. So yeah, for sure.
So you guys can check us out on X at One Set Pod, and you can also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and right here on YouTube at the handle of One Set Pod. Make sure you're subscribing, following, anything you need to do to keep up with us on the One Set Podcast. And Jim, let everybody know where they can hang out with us outside of our episodes.
That is the number 1 Set Fam on Facebook. Again, that's the number 1 Set Fam on Facebook. Thank you all for tuning in. All the love to you, Anthony. I love you, brother.
Love you too, bro.
Can't wait for the next one.
This has been One Set.